Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 18 of the Glory Days podcast. We are back live, and you know what?
Drunk after Christmas.
Oh my God! Don't even.
Hopefully Christmas went well for our viewers.
It sure as hell went well for us boys, didn't it? Because we, for the first time this season, are coming to you with an episode where we haven't been absolutely embarrassed. We have gotten ourselves a win, our first of the A-League season.
Spoon Bowl.
Absolutely. The El Sacaco goes the way of David Zrilic as Glory take out a 1-0 win over Brisbane Roar to take us off the bottom of the table once again. Lads, are we back is the question that everyone in the A-League is asking.
No.
Okay, well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the negatives. Okay?
We'll start like we normally do with the viewers' comments. We had quite a range, actually, of thoughts. So we'll start off with our Serbian mate, Jovan. Perth have more clean sheets than Sydney FC in the league. What is this nonsense? Glory were all right defensively, would have conceded against a better attacking cohort, but shutting down the best striker in the league should be acknowledged. Glory Productions, very scrappy from both teams, but ultimately we played better and one of the better performances this season. Also worth noting Ruben Zadkovic's mental health. His eyes were puffy in the post-game press conference. Hopefully all is well with him. Chicken Treat Fan Club, pleasantly surprised at how he managed to see the game out in the end, given it was unfamiliar territory for a lot of the players. Labib looks an absolute gem. We will mention him. Dan, David Williams could single-handedly bring back the Fury. Matt Vandenberg thought that was the first A-League game I've seen Pennington do anything. Well, we've clearly not been watching any A-League games there, Matt Vandenberg. But he bossed the midfield. I agree with that. Matt was really impressed with Labib. So do we see Zrilic use him and Merchler as our main centre-back duo going forward? Lachlan, first half was shit versus shit, but we were able to create and put a bit of pressure on. Second half we scored and sat back. Lucky to not concede. Also need to add that Pennington is easily the best player in the team. Gamorka and Bulgaria have no quality about them. So an interesting array of thoughts, but we may as well get into our general thoughts before we delve and dabble into it. What did we make as an initial thought of the Brisbane win?
I had to go back and the Brisbane. Our winning.
Yeah, winning.
I had to go back and rewatch the game. In all honesty, because I fell asleep part of the way through.
A bit of a habit now.
Mate, look, honestly, if you're a neutral fan and you manage to stay awake during the entire 90 minutes, hats off to you, bro, because as a depressed Glory fan, I could barely keep my eyes open. But we got the win. I went back and looked at the game, and look, while I thought we were the better side in parts, I looked at there's a lot to be done, isn't there? There's not much you can say. It's the same shit that we've been saying for a while now. Defensively, we're a bit shaky at a lot of times. The selections, look. What can you say about the selections, really? Attacking-wise, I think we look a bit better. Definitely looked a bit better recently. And I was enjoying the energy that David Williams was providing. Now, I'm not about to, stand here and say that, Tags has been a problem or anything like that, but Williams was running his heart out, man. He was going absolutely apeshit. So,
Fair play to him.
It's really a sort of dilemma as to, how can we best utilize Dave? Because I think he offers something that, not a lot of our current forwards offer, and that is just the man just works for 90 minutes. He just does not fucking stop.
Well, that can be something we can discuss heading into the Macarthur game, but Will, what were your thoughts on the game?
I thought as a whole the team looked a lot more together.
I agree.
Sure that the performance itself wasn't, fantastic, but you don't need a fantastic performance against that Brisbane side. You just need to do enough.
Yeah.
But the chemistry on the field and the willingness to sacrifice your body for the ball and to put your foot in seemed a lot more apparent in that game. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if Williams being a part of that starting squad, maybe he had a chat with the boys and he got them right up before the game. But as a whole, I thought it was probably our best performance of the season. I think to score a goal from open play as Perth is pretty impressive. So, it's a low bar, but I was happy.
Goal as well.
It was a very good goal. I think it's possible that perhaps the team was a bit more together, as maybe there was a word in the dressing room about a few of the players that won't be joining us anymore, and perhaps that could have, got to get a few of the negative players out who don't want to be here, and then maybe the team seems a bit more willing to push forward.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. I've been trying to figure out what it might have been. There
was a difference in how we played.
There was, and I think also perhaps again, like Alex said, Taggart's definitely not the problem, but I think the message probably would have been, hey, we don't have Taggart, Now it's up to you guys to step up and be the difference, and we can't just rely on our main striker to provide anything for us. And I think that we rose to the challenge, which is really good to see.
Well, there was a few changes that Dave made to the lineup. So obviously Adam Taggart out, David Williams in.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can clarify, had this confirmed 100%, he was actually sick, had a chest infection. So for anyone thinking, he's volleyed the toys out the pram, yada yada, conspiracy. No, he was sick.
He would never do
was
that.
crook as a bug.
I can't see
so hopefully
we've got the doctor's note right here, which we're going to show on.
yeah, the standard note. But he should be. Hopefully, he should be back for the Macarthur game.
Yep.
Quiet and go out. Abdul Faisal in.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon O'Neill out due to the concussion protocol.
Yep.
Trent Osler in. And Lewis Kunga gone. And Adriano Labib in. So in terms of the starting lineup with those changes, were we happy, or were we a bit what the fuck, or what were we thinking?
Okay, well, we'll start from where you started and just kind of work way down. Taggart out, obviously at first we were a bit like, okay. So, because it feels like every week we get a random player that disappears, and then, for example, we've seen Kaisoto and Kanga leave. Ioma's also just decided he's not here anymore. So it felt like every week we would get a new player gone, and we're like, he's just not here anymore. And when we saw Taggart out, we're like, okay. And I don't know if any of you guys saw it, that gag account with, we have confirmed that Taggart has left this club.
God.
And that paired with the club, we were like, wait. It was like for half a second.
It's like the Paul Francis one. Did you see that meme? I don't know if the viewers, you might do, with the Paul Francis. We've signed Paul Francis from the Solomon Islands, and we've given them Adam Taggart in exchange.
Look, if they honestly put out that post and said that we signed Paul Francis for just a transfer fee, I would have been like,
that would have been funny.
God, this
Good
club.
PR.
Oh God, this club. But the fact that they said Taggart in return, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And not because we wouldn't do that. It's because I don't think Taggart wants to play.
No, he doesn't. So pairing that with Taggart being out for probably about 10 minutes, I was like, what is happening? And then we got it cleared pretty quickly that he was in fact just sick. I think Faisal starting is good. I think it was good to give him a go. I'm not saying tactically that was the smartest choice. I'm saying for his own confidence, it's good for the manager, I think, to show him that there's still a faith there, that he can get it going. Obviously, it didn't work as amazingly as we would have liked, and Kwai did end up getting subbed on eventually anyway. But I'm not that, whether it's Kwai or Faisal starting, I'm happy either way, because I think they both need to build confidence, and they both need to kind of learn how to share that left side, because they're both still incredibly young. And then with O'Neill, well, obviously, again, forced change. I do love a bit of Trent Osler. So I was no complaints with him coming in for O'Neill, though quite an attacking switch as well. Yeah. Which is nice. And then obviously
the bib.
Wow. Wow.
Said the word.
I've said the word. And I know this is Brisbane, right? So we're not going to act like he's just taken on, Douglas Costa and two-footed him and left him on the floor.
Taken on Ben Halloran.
Yeah, right?
He didn't even play.
What if this is what we can to expect if we give him game time, if he's the kind of defender that he looks to be? Beast. It is just a no-nonsense, if in doubt, kick it out. Honestly. I'm going to stand there. I dare you to get through me, which is what we've been asking for. With him and Merchler, they put a really good effort in. But I'll stop we'll get back to Labib after that. We're talking about the lineup, but what did you think, Alex?
I've got to say, I got to agree on that part on Labib. He looked really, really good. And look, I get that a big thing for young centre-backs, especially when you're trying to judge sort of how ready they are to make that step up, is composure. And I don't think that's the right word to describe sort of Labib's performance. It's more maturity. Yeah. Because composure, I would use to describe someone who's maybe getting on the ball more, looking to play out the back, someone like a Dylan Leonard, for example. Yeah. But the maturity from that Adriano Labib performance was crazy. His positioning was good. His physicality was
very
good.
Proactive when he was stepping out also.
Proactive, stepped out really well, didn't try to do too much in certain situations. He was just incredibly solid, and I think that's all you can really ask for in that situation. And look, I think we did him a disservice in the first game by putting him in a formation with 4 centre backs, having no proper cover down.
That was not fair.
He had no proper cover down his right hand side that game. Let's be honest. Like as much as I love Caleb Majeka-Dunmi, he's not a right back. So neither him or Labib looked good that game. But I don't think any of them really had a chance because they were screwed from the start.
Well, it was good to see that he was next to someone experienced and someone as classy
absolutely.
as Tomislav Merchula. And, we sung Tommy's praises a fair bit in the Newcastle loss despite losing 4-0 because he was a very calming presence, and he just added something. Tommy, like I remember seeing him at the Jets game when he walked out the tunnel. I forgot how fucking big he was, but it was just like you've got now some presence. We thought we were going to get that with Kunga, but Kunga was just like played every game like he was drunk and make a mistake every 5 minutes or whatever. You can't trust him. But I think we're now at a point. Yes, okay, small sample size of 90 minutes between Merchula and Labib, but I think moving forward, it was a very strong case put forward for those two to be at the heart of the defence moving forward.
100%. And look, I would like to know what's happening with Zach Lijalajski as well. I'm still of the belief that he can be our best left-sided centre-back. I still believe that he can be a better left-sided centre-back partner to Merchula over someone like Labib, just because I feel like Labib's very similar in sort of style to Merchula. That sort of, big bully centre back, no nonsense, bullshit, all that kind of stuff. Lijalajski looks a lot more comfortable on the ball. I think we saw that very clearly in pre-season. And look, we didn't get a big sample size in the A-League yet because he was being played out of position, but there were moments where you could clearly tell, like, the guy looks to get on the ball and sort of just, like, progress the play a bit with it. So I would really like to see how he can go alongside Merchula with the end goal of possibly having our starting centre-backs next... Well, maybe not starting centre-backs, but building towards a long-term pairing in 2-3 years of having Lijalajski and Labib as our starting two.
That's a very good centre-back partnership in theory, but it needs to happen.
I don't expect them to both be at the club in 2 years' time. Right. I expect them both to have been poached by some good sides at that time. Hopefully we can make a bit of cash on them. But look... If you're asking me at the current moment in time what two centre-backs I would pick, whether at the club or not at the club right now, that I think we can realistically hope to have a good centre-back pairing in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Labib and Lijalajski look like they're bloody made for each other, mate. But you have to handle it well. You can't just chuck Labib in there. And I think they've done the right thing by chucking him in with Tommy Merchula, because Tommy sets a great example.
Very much
rather than it being like, oh, just look at what Tommy's doing and then go and do it. It's like, well, now you can actually experience it yourself. You can see for yourself how he's doing shit. You can react to it. And if I can give credit to Labib for one thing, is that he, in a way, almost matched Tommy Merchula. Yeah. And when we saw in the first game, he was a little bit of a step off Kunga.
Bit shaky.
He was a step off of Kunga. Yeah. But he matched Tommy really well.
I think they worked really well in tandem with each other. And I think that one of the big things when we get into the first half, it's like, it was a standard, look, I don't want to sledge him, but it was a standard fucking Zadkiewicz performance in the sense of where the team would have lots of the ball, but do absolutely fuck all with it.
But fun.
Credit to the players for the way in which they defended, because a lot of criticism has gone towards them for just how badly they defend. Like, after the Jets game, I listened to the A-League off-air thing that was done by McBreen and Robbie Thompson, and Daniel McBreen tore us a brand new arsehole. Just said, it doesn't matter whether these guys are pressing or they're sitting in the block, they cannot defend. This time around against Brisbane, and yes, we do have to put a disclaimer in, it is Brisbane. It's not like we're playing Melbourne Victory or Auckland or Adelaide, for example. We're playing against a team that's shit and near us down the bottom. But I felt our defensive work rate among the players, whether it was in the press or it was in the block, was really good. And I think Labib and Merchula in particular, the way in which they would step up, be aggressive and be confident moving forward, especially against a team like Macarthur, where you need to compress the space, you need to be aggressive, you can't allow them to have those fast breaks. I think that sort of mindset moving forward is going to do a lot of good for the players, to be honest. So we may as well go into the first half. Not the most exciting, I'll be honest. I mean, aside from a good start and the odd chance created, whether it was for the little scoop over from Pennington for Bulgaria, who probably should have taken it first time. The block shot from Bulgaria after some good rec down the right-hand side involving Pennington, Faisal and Osler. Faisal on the left having that shot skim across the goal, and then even fucking David Williams pulling off a bicycle kick. It just seemed like, obviously it was humoured at the game. We know that because we were speaking to guys after, but also just seeing it on the TV. You could tell that it was an energy-sapping game, and it wasn't a game where both sides are going full gung-ho with the way in which they attack.
No.
Can I just say as well, I know Bulgaria gets a lot of stick from some fans for not maybe being that sort of flashy 10 that Castro was, that not a big, like, massive, like, chance creator, shit like that. But the kid moves really well. And I know that's like a weird thing to just point out.
His positioning
his positioning is really good.
It's intelligent.
He gets into good space. He finds it well. If he can just sort of, I guess, hone that craft a bit more, learn when to, take that shot first time, or learn when to make that killer pass. He's so close, man. He's so close. He can be such a good player. And he's got the foundations to do it because he's got really good instinct. It's just, I think, like, people can rightly criticize him based on, individual ability, sure thing. But his instincts are really good. And you can tell when you watch him play. Pennington as well. Oh, my God.
Fuck.
He is just... He's a godsend, man.
Tearing it apart.
He's an absolute godsend.
I don't know where we'd be without him, to be fair. Like, I don't know we're pretty far down anyway, but without him, I don't know who in the midfield would take that role. I have no idea.
Mate, we wouldn't beat Olympic Kingsway if we didn't have Pennington.
No. that's the thing. Pennington has really, I think, the last few weeks, I think probably the Adelaide game in particular, he really just went another level.
Yeah.
And from there, he hasn't looked back. Like, he's always been wanting to drive the team forward, and his passing's been excellent. His work rate's been really solid. And in the sense of trying to build a midfield, I thought he was pretty solid. And I'll also do this, right, because we've bashed Taras Gamulka a little bit on the pod for a fair bit. I'll be honest, I thought he had a much better performance against Brisbane.
Agreed.
I felt he got stuck in more. He didn't lose out as many challenges as he did in previous weeks. And I think, going on to David Williams' goal, it doesn't happen unless Taras Gamulka wins that 50-50 in our own half, that then leads on to the ball going to Riley Wallen. And just a bit of a comment from you boys. How did you think, in terms of the two teams, how they both attacked? I felt we attacked whenever we had the ball, albeit not often, but when we did attack, I felt we looked much better than Brisbane did.
We looked a lot more threatening.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the chances, besides obviously Keegan's off the bar, which he had a pretty good game. Keegan, he did. I think we all kind of knew he was going to put in a bit of an extra shift against Perth, which is a very fair call from him. But as much as I do miss him, no, I think for the first time this season, when you play against a team, we actually looked more threatening on the attack. That little lofted pass from Pennington to Bulgaria, where he should have taken it first time, but which is, again, hitting a volley first time is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So I understand why he was looking to maybe control it a bit more. The Williams bicycle kid, the list can go on and on where, it's just that final product wasn't there, but it looked like we had much better chances compared to Brisbane, where they kind of just get the ball and just pass it around in and outside the box, and there was no real shot. Like there was nothing that you thought, Cameron needs to come out and make a big save for that one. Like, very rarely was there any chances for Brisbane where I was like, they should have scored that one. Besides, I can only think of that one from Keegan.
That was it.
And then it's a long range. Look, I've been saying this for a while now. Zatkovic is getting carried so hard by the individual brilliance of some players. Jelicic is just phenomenal. He carries that entire sort of attacking
Waddingham also.
Attacking line.
Waddingham, O'Shea, Jelicic is such a good...
O'Shea's been shit this season.
I know, but,
how are they fumbling it though, Brisbane? Like,
I don't know.
Because there's no foundation there. There's no tactical foundation, and we saw this under Zatkovic as well.
That's true.
There is... All the man has is passion ball. There is no sort of footballing brain. There is no planning. There's no anything.
No, there's a process apparently.
No, there is no process. We saw this with us.
There is.
There's no defensive structure, and there's no attacking planning outside of individual brilliance of players. And we've seen that so far with Brisbane as well. And look,
we saw it at Perth too.
100%.
Yeah.
But look, I want to touch again on that point on Taras Gamulka. Much, much better game. And look, if there's been one thing that we have been criticising him for this season, rightfully so, it's that sometimes he could be a bit... I don't want it to sound too harsh, but I'll say it because I think it's the right word. He could be a bit cowardly in challenges.
Oof.
Where he won't... He
doesn't smash in.
He doesn't particularly go in, because sometimes I feel like he's worried that he's either A, going to give away a foul, or B...
hurt himself.
He's going... Yeah. And I don't want to make any of those calls. So any
we're just
fans
guessing. It's perception.
Look, this is all just what I see. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I couldn't really give a shit because my opinions are my own.
Yeah.
But that's just what I see as a fan. But this game, he was much better. And if there's one thing I want to say that the Glory did today in terms of our attacking that we haven't done, it's much more risk taking. much more risk taking, because the attacking in the first few games, in every single game, pretty much
very cautious,
very robotic. The only players really that you've seen that are actually sort of going against the flow and trying to actually just create some shit on their own out of nowhere would be Pennington and Kwango.
And David Williams.
Absolutely.
Tags as well.
David Williams today.
40 yards, like in previous games.
Yeah.
The only kind of.
But I feel like David Williams just dragged something out of the boys today. Faisal he didn't look like a world beater, but he looked a bit more confident. He looked like he was actually trying some shit. Bulgaria, his movement was really good. I think Dave sort of leaving that striker role and moving around the front line gave him a lot more space to work with, which was really good as well. Pennington, like we said, was class. Gamulka looked a lot more solid. Trent Osler, solid as always.
Just one point, though, I will say about the wingers is that they can do a bit more for me. I know we've got a lot of young wingers as it is. I mean, geez, I think of the guys that are fit, it's what? Faisal, young guy, quiet, young, Doggy,
Osler,
and Trent. So the reason why is I had a look at successful dribble attempts from a lot of the guys, and Faisal is one of the only ones that's sort of high volume, but he attempts a lot of dribbles but doesn't often get past his opponent. And I think moving forward from our wingers, what we need is guys that, confidence can take time to build, but wingers that just aren't afraid to lose the ball, because that should be the thing. It's like this system is like, okay, if you lose the ball, that's fine. You should have the safety net of that red ball sort of counter press.
Yep.
But I think we need more from the sense of our wingers where they drive at their opponent and look to utilise the fullbacks a bit more. And like you said, we need to take a few more risks, and we started to see that against Brisbane.
That's the thing, though. I think like Quiet and Go is that sort of player that we're looking for, and I think Joel Anasmo is that sort of player as well. At least he was last season when he was actually getting game time.
Yeah.
Like the games against Sydney, games against Western Sydney Wanderers, he looked like a guy that just wanted to pick up the ball and just go, man.
I would like to see I don't know, Will, what you think about it, but I would like to see, in terms of a starting position when we have the ball, our fullbacks pushed up a little bit higher, not so that they're wingers, but almost like they're wing backs, and then our wingers come inside so that we can get a bit more interplay. Because for as much as I don't mind us not having shitloads of possession, I think a problem whenever we do get the ball is sort of like, especially in goal kick scenarios, we're sort of like, shit, what do we do? And then we sort of lose it after the third or fourth pass.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more interplay from the front four, and I understand obviously when there's lots of changes within the team, it's hard to build that cohesion and chemistry. But having that as a starting point, because again, I'll reference the Australia Cup. What we saw in the Australia Cup and what we saw in the league was totally different. And even watching some of the games back, it's like the way in which we'd play through the lines a bit more in the Australia Cup. I wouldn't mind seeing that if we can reintroduce that back into our A-League form. I think that'll go a long way for us keeping the ball and creating more chances.
Would you, on that interplay, to have a bit more, of maybe the fullbacks or wingbacks, whichever way they decide to play, to kind of cut in a bit more and have a bit more interplay with the midfield? Would you possibly consider doing a 3-back with Labib, in an ideal world, right? If Zach gets given a go, of Labib, Lichulowski, and Murchler, and then you go like Dougie on the right, and maybe Warland on the left, or Faisal on the left, as long as he can track. He tracks back.
As in the 2 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been shouting back 5 since round 2.
Yeah.
So, but that's for a different reason. But even still, it's like, I think I'll use another example. I was watching our game before we came against Macarthur last season under Stadge, and Stadge basically had like an attacking front line of 6, and that was overkill for me. But even still, we were able to get into advanced areas very quickly, and then we were able to put teams under pressure. I don't think we have enough players in our attacking or midfield line so that when we do bypass that initial press, let's say, we can go on attack with speed. We're sort of relying on transition moments, which is okay, but it sort of makes you a bit too predictable with how you're going to hurt teams. And I think we got away with it against Brisbane. I mean, we might as well discuss David Williams' goal. It was exciting in a point because it wasn't like the best counter attack, but it was still quick and everyone was going. And it was just the speed at which we went forward, comparing that to the way Brisbane would attack. It was like, that's what we want to see. That's what we saw in the cup.
That's what we're looking for here.
And then just the movement into the box from all the players, and then the crossover from Brisbane, first class. And the finish from David Williams.
It was a great cross.
The finish from David Williams. I mean, build that guy's statue outside of HBF Park. I mean, that guy, whether he's starting or he's off the bench, that guy is unreal. And we bitched about it at the end of the Newcastle game on the pod. We said, okay, when O'Neill was taken off due to concussion, not a sledge on Blair, but he shouldn't have been brought on. It should have been David Williams who should have been brought on.
Yep.
Just to provide that level head, that experience, because it gives you a different feeling seeing Williams come on and be on the pitch, because he's got that experience, that composure, and almost that drive within the boys.
Kind of actually worked out well, though, I think, that he didn't come on in that Newcastle game. Because in reality, I don't think it would have made too much difference. Like maybe he would have scored a goal. But him not coming on then would have left him fully fit and fresh for a starting position against Brisbane. So all's well that ends well with that situation. But I think he showed that he's still capable, regardless of the age. He's capable of giving you at least 60 minutes of...
Very least.
The very least.
If you told me at the start of this season, when we were all predicting Glory to do really well, that we'd be a third the way through the season, and we'd be saying, "Wow, I really hope we can keep David Williams next year."
No, he might retire, but if he plays like this, he probably won't.
He'll retire before we release him. That will be the case. Well, if he retires, it'll be because he doesn't want to continue. We don't want.
If this is his last dance this season, then that game against Brisbane was probably one of the best that he's had in a Glory shirt for a very long time.
100%.
Look, if this man doesn't stay on as a coach afterwards, I'm going to be fucking heartbroken.
Or in some role within the club,
just something.
He's fitness coach.
The bloke. I think he bleeds purple. He seems to really care. Yeah, genuinely.
The man. I don't know what it is. I think he's discovered like the fountain of youth or something, because he runs like a 23-year-old.
He runs like a
wine. Mate, honestly, I'm going between him and Cristiano Ronaldo for who has the better physique in their late 30s, because it's actually outrageous.
It's got to be Dave.
No, but bro, Ronaldo don't run like this, bro. Ronaldo don't run like Williams does.
He ran like that when he was playing for United for a little bit. But anyway,
for a little bit.
You know, it was second half. So obviously Williams got the goal. I thought Pennington was dreadfully unlucky not to get a goal himself with that header, where he came charging through like Tarzan and a bullet header, only for their fucking goalkeeper to pull off a save.
Oh, bro, that broke my heart. Man.
It was a bullet and a great ball in from Taras. No one picked up Pennington. It would have been a perfect goal. It would have been actually much more deserved, I would have thought, if we came away with a 2-0 win, because for as much as we discussed in the first half, Brisbane not showing much, they sort of did throw the kitchen sink in the second half, but my God, their finishing stunk.
When
do we
get to talk about Zimmerino's miss?
Oh, now if you want.
Yes!
If you want.
Come on!
I mean, look.
Gotta get ready for this one, boys.
Life's sweet, ain't it?
I did.
Hi, Ben Callahan. How's your boy doing?
I sort of did go, oh shit, because I think it was Labib that gave the ball away, and then someone intercepted it, running into the box. Berenguer has a back heel, and then it went to Zimmer, and I was like, oh fuck.
Do not.
Don't you dare put that in. Twitter's going to be a cesspool if it goes in.
Yeah.
And then Nick Minute wrote triple Z almost.
Bro, I don't know how. I don't know how you sky it that high. It was insane.
When you panic at a 1v1 in foot champs and red time it, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's not even red time. You full power, but he dropped the controller and smashed it, and the B button was pressed.
Bro, just fucking get it out of here.
I was in shock. I genuinely thought the moment he struck it, I was like, oh,
fuck, 1-1.
Yeah,
1-0, I think, actually. Yeah.
How's that striker taking a better goal kick than Cammy Cook's ever done, bro? I don't know.
Cookie, if we see you after the Macarthur game, man, we're going to give you some tips on how to kick a ball more than 20 metres going on the ground.
I don't think there's anything we can teach.
No, I've got nothing.
Bro, I don't want to,
Cookie, fix those goal kicks, man.
Clean sheet, though.
Clean sheet. Hey, I'll tell you what. For as much as we bagged out Zimmerino for that miss, he pulled out some pretty good saves to make sure that not only we not concede, but just to keep the clean sheet and to deny Brisbane from getting any sort of momentum, because I don't know if you boys noticed it, but for me, once we got the first goal, there was like a complete shift in mentality with our players, where it was like, all right, we're going to defend for however long it's going to take, but we are not conceding anything. Yep. And that was really pleasing to see for me, because it's like, again, we've smashed the guys for not being anywhere near good enough defensively, but collectively, and we'll start out with a shout out. Doggy Carluccio, once he came on, did the dirty work, auditioned for the Western Force with a great tackle on one of their guys to get a yellow card. But that's the thing. He was the work rate. The work rate was relentless, not just from him but from all the players, and big credit to them, man.
No, honestly, look, when we brought on Carlucci, I knew we weren't conceding, bro.
Nah.
He'll do anything.
I'm a big advocate for the back five as well, but I honestly feel so bad because I really just want Doggy to start. That's all I want.
Well, you could.
I honestly think
wing back or a 10 will play anywhere.
Give me a back three of Risdon, Lizolajski, and Murchula with Doggy Carlucci as the right wing back.
No,
Rizzo. I want Rizzo, but I want Rizzo.
Hey, put him in a back three.
No, put him at wing back and then just say.
We'll put Doggy Carlucci at left wing back.
Yeah, left wing back.
Yeah, left wing back.
You go on left wing back, Doggy, Labib, Lizolajski, Murchula, Risdon. That's your back five.
Let's leave this talk for the transfer window. Regardless.
Gardner, yes.
He'd be back five. I'm not going to say no to it against Macarthur.
I can't lie to you. With January coming up, I'm honestly just of the belief that I'd rather... Look, we're not making finals. Let's be completely honest here.
No. Don't say that.
Well, hold on. Adelaide United in their 2015-16 season where they won the toilet seat. Lost all of their games, but won their first game in round 9, 1-0.
Stop.
No, listen.
So what does that mean?
Listen, January 1st, Gareth is going to tweet an eyeballs emoji, which means we're getting a signing.
The window doesn't open until mid-January, though.
Okay. Mid-January
15th.
Yeah. Gareth is going to tweet an eyeball emoji. And then
it's
3 days
Alex
later,
Grant.
3 days later, he's going to tweet another eyeballs emoji, and then another one, and we're going to get so many signings.
And you know what he's going to tweet? He's going to tweet W-O-W. Wow.
In all seriousness, no, we are. So bad.
No, but like, let me land on this point. I would rather at this stage just pick out the young players that we're looking to build the squad around for the next 2-3 years, and just go with that. Guys like Labib, guys like Lizolajski, guys like Carlucci, Faisal, Ngo, Osler, Anasmo, whatever, right? Find those core guys that you want to build that squad around and just fucking give them license to do whatever the fuck.
We may as well discuss one of the elephants in the room in the sense of both Caicedo.
Alex is right there, mate.
Caicedo and Kanga. Poor George. Kanga and Caicedo both departing the club.
Yeah.
We will admit we have heard, not from the club, but we have heard some rumblings that there was going to be a few on the departure lounge.
I feel bad.
Put it this way, we weren't surprised.
So we may as well give our thoughts. Alex, what did you think of both Kanga and Caicedo?
His hairline's offside. Offside. Christian Caicedo. No, I'm joking.
It's worse than George's, actually, mate, to be honest.
Nah, but look, it's disappointing.
It didn't work.
Not for the fact that they were, incredible players that we've lost. It's more just...
Wow.
It's more just like it's an admission of guilt from the club.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Kinda.
But
he did say stand in fairness, not explicitly, but in the press statement or the press release, we fucked up.
Yeah, I love the little note in the Christian Caicedo one as well, saying that, unfortunately, he didn't fit our style of play. And I'm just like, is there a reason why you signed him in the first place then if he didn't fit the style of fucking play?
I think David sort of accidentally or inadvertently sort of said Christian exactly fits what we need in terms of profile and style of play when we signed him.
Yeah.
So I think just for future reference, if we sign someone in January, just say we've signed him. Inshallah, it works.
Yeah. We have signed this player on a free or whatever, and that's it. When the fans won't have any expectations. If he does well, then congratulations, you're the good guy.
We've signed him. Look at his YouTube comp below.
Yeah, go for it. It's season 10. We'll be providing you with a comp within the hour. The other comment on the Caicedo, I thought, which you were going to say, Alex, was the he has been incredibly professional during this time. Yes.
Bullshit.
He's throwing a tantrum as he got subbed off. Blah blah blah. I'm sad that it didn't work out because I'll be honest, I was a very big. Although I had no idea who he was or where he came from or how good he was when we signed him. When you sign any player, you really want them to be good. When we signed Caicedo, I think I saw the comp that you managed to find of some of the things he did well.
Young, exciting Colombian winger. And we're like, wow, this guy could be really good. Doesn't play for 3 games. Gets a start out of nowhere. And we're like, you know what? He actually looks okay. And then he just never plays again.
No, the thing was, we thought when we signed Kanga, it was like, shit, that's a good centre-back signing. Yeah. And then it's like you see him in the first few games get torched, and it's like, oh, God. And then just the mistake after mistake. But the worst one was Caicedo, though.
Yeah.
Stan, I know he's apologised for it now, but dude, please don't hype up someone that doesn't have a good resume.
Because shut the fuck.
Because when he did it, I was like, wow. Like, let's look at some of these Colombian signings. Oh, this guy's worth 800,000 on transfer market. Wow, Stanley and Rosario, you've got the checkbook out. Fuck, we've signed this wicked player. And then I think you sent through the members' email, and it's like,
we were so certain it was Nadar Moreno.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, here's Christian Caicedo. I'm like, who? And then a week later, Auckland's like, hey guys, look, we signed Nadar Moreno.
I sent through the email, and it was Christian Caicedo. Like,
who?
We went through so many player names of we could get this guy, could be this guy, because we knew it was a Colombian attacker or a winger.
Yeah.
So we went through the list of who was available. Obviously, Nadar was available. There's a few other.
There were some other ones that looked pretty good.
And we were like, oh wow. And then I saw the email.
Moreno was another one that we were kind of getting hyped up for.
And I got the email, screenshot it, put it in the group chat, and instantly everyone's just like, who the fuck is that guy?
First thing I did was go on Transfer Market. Couldn't find him. I was like, oh no, this is bad, bro.
And the only
if you search his name, if you search a player's name on Transfer Market and they're not the first result, it's bad. It's bad. Bro.
The Wikipedia didn't help either.
The Wikipedia didn't help. There was no Transfer Market, and I couldn't find anything on YouTube.
The one website that actually did have a profile for him, the link was broken.
The only bit of copium that we had was Aston Villa nabbing one of their talents, and I was like, oh, maybe Stan is on, maybe Stan's on or something. And then it's like,
there's a reason Villa didn't nab him.
Well, I got the comp, and I tried to look through all his goals and assists, and I just made it, and I was like,
I'm sorry, I just clocked that the reasoning we got ourselves hyped up for this was because Aston Villa signed a player from the same club. That's like saying, bro. I'm sorry, bro. It's like saying that fucking Neil Kilkenny's as good as Steven Gerrard because they both play. Oh wait, no. Where did fucking Kilkenny play? Leeds, yeah. It's like saying Kilkenny's just as good as fucking Harry Kewell because they both played at Leeds and they're both Australian.
Well, I mean,
like, it's
that was the copium because again we couldn't find Christian on Transfer Market. Didn't have any sort of profile whatsoever, and it's like, where's he playing? Oh, Colombian second division. And I'm like, oh, unless it was like Andres did some madness with a bit of scouting or whatever.
Yeah. The thing is though, like young 21-year-old attacking signing from the Colombian second tier, I'm not even like that mad at that resume. What I'm pissed off at is the fact that we hyped him up just for him to not play any of the first three games when he was match fit.
All I'll say is that they were not priority signings.
No,
I will say that very, very clearly, 100%. Both Kanga and Caicedo were not priority signings that we did lots and lots of work into. The guy that we did do lots of work into, Christian Devonish, he would have been a wow signing.
Oh, he would have been.
So remember when we signed Gregory Vutric?
23, holy shit.
He would have been the Colombian version of Vutric in the sense of a young guy.
I still miss Gregory Vutric, man.
That was coming in from a relatively good level. Played at Atletico Nacional, big club in Colombia. And if he was going to come to us, but basically everything was done. He had signed the contract, had the photo and everything, done the interview. We don't hear from him for a week, and then next minute he signs for Portugal. So kicking the ass for us. But he would have been he would have been a big player for us, man.
Yeah. Can I just say, I would love to know if there's any truth to the rumours that Kanga and Caicedo genuinely thought they were signing for a club in Austria and then thought that their contracts were paid in US dollars and not Australian dollars. Because
bro, that rumour.
If we suffered two of the worst visa signings in A-League history because they were so low IQ that they couldn't read a fucking piece of paper. I'm going, bro. Like
it was a panic signing. It was like shit. We need some visas.
Guys just lied. They were very late. They were very late.
They were lumped in. I think Caicedo was lumped in along with Kanga, but I think it was just a lesson learned moving forward. Because look, as much as we criticise Stan, that was not Stanley's talent ID. It was like, fuck, we need something. So moving forward into January, I know we've had this discussion lots of times, but like, it is so important that not only we bring in the signings, but we also make the space for signings to come in. Because I don't think fans also seem to be aware that, maybe a few do, but in the sense of the way in which the salary cap was constructed from the previous administration, we're sort of picking up the scraps in the sense of what we could do in terms of bringing in players. So I think it's pending what we can do. I mean, Lazaridis said, I'm pretty sure he said in both player departure announcements that there's a replacement for both Kanga and Caicedo.
They did say that, and they said they
For
were
both?
hoping to announce shortly.
Yeah. So,
Who?
well, I don't know.
Who?
Might be- Might be.
Daniel Steins has returned to the club on a 4-year deal.
Daniel De Silva is back.
Yeah.
I'd take that, but you know
West
it's not gonna be
versus
fucking
Rest.
Daniel De Silva.
One thing I do want to mention.
Nikola Rukavica
Yeah.
is here for the glory.
Hashtag one glory.
Hashtag one glory.
What
Hashtag
a-
West is best. Hashtag Perth versus the Reds.
Hashtag Wales on.
Let's go.
One thing I do want to mention though, just to finish on the Brisbane game, very quickly, we gave him a fair bit of shit in the last pod, but fair play to Zrilla, because for as much as we said he was a mute and doing the chill guy emote, the dude,
No one actually said that, by the way.
No one
chill
said
guy-
mutant. I said
no,
chill
mute.
guy meme. No one said muted.
no mute, mute. Is he like doesn't say anything?
mute. I thought he said muted.
No mute.
Hey guys, look up David's really.
No, for as much as we said he
Welcome
wasn't-
back, Stephen McGarry on a free.
No, for as much as we said he wasn't doing anything, man,
Neil Kilkenny is first team.
I was much happier with how he was on the touchline, particularly after we were 1-0 up.
Yes.
And in the last 10 minutes where everything was fucking happening, he was getting into the players along with Tommy, the assistant, and they were much more animated, much more active, and just were a better presence on the bench. And that's the thing. We just want to see like our coach and our players suffer with us if we're going through the shit. And to see Zrilla getting into the boys and just motivating them, and just you could see at full time he was getting around the boys, and that's what we want to see, because you could see the difference with Ruben. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught on, but at full time the Den was chanting "sacked in the morning."
Yeah.
And there were a few.
They've been saying that for weeks, though. Like, they've been, like, obviously, Richard Raw, Jacob.
Ruben's
Oz,
time to go.
Like, I think most of Brisbane Twitter has been saying it's time for him to go for at least the last 2
Bro, they
or
were
3
calling
weeks.
for his sacking after
he was appointed.
As soon as he got appointed, bro.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, even after which I thought wasn't even a bad result for them, drawing away to Western Sydney.
Oh, yeah, but
They
I think
were calling for it
the
then.
Zadkovic doing the whole fake the hamstring thing. I think that he lost a lot of fan support with that, and then not beating us at home.
To be fair, yeah, I don't think I don't know if I could actually talk to anyone in the A-League as a fan or a player or anyone, maybe besides Brisbane coaching staff, because they have to say it, that will go, oh yeah, I think Ruben Zakovic is a good coach.
No, I think there is the universal thought among basically all A-League fans that after this result, he has to go.
I think he's an awful tactician. I think as a people person,
As a motivator, he's fine.
As a motivator, he's very good.
People
as
person,
a tactician, he is. If I could take the best qualities of Zadkovic and the best qualities of Alan Stajic, maybe, you could get a really good coach out of that.
Possibly, but yeah.
I'll check, but when is Brisbane's next game? Does anyone know? It'll be this weekend, right?
I think so.
Let me check.
I think so. I think they're away to West United.
So you're telling me that he's still not sacked?
No.
Wow, I don't know.
They weren't going to sack him on Christmas Day, mate.
Well, which is yesterday, but they could have sacked him like the day after, which was
they're playing Western, I think.
They have got
Western away.
Sunday, Western United, 2 p.m.
Yeah. So
wow.
well, we may as well now touch on the game against Macarthur. So pending when this gets released, it'll either be tomorrow or today when we're playing Western United. So they played on the Monday.
What?
Macarthur. Sorry, Macarthur.
I was like,
I'm drunk. Sorry, Macarthur. Sorry, fucking Jesus, boy. Sorry.
because we're talking about Brisbane West United.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Macarthur. Fucking bullshit. Yeah, so we've got them on Friday at HBF Park. Monday they drew 1-1 to Mariners. Tommy Wilscock red card.
Yep.
Not the most convincing performance.
Nope.
What are our thoughts heading into the game?
Woodlescock red card in the first minute, and we'll still lose, bro.
He's gone.
I think
Yeah,
Macarthur are just. They're such an on and off team. It's actually crazy. Like,
Very hot and cold.
I don't understand. I'm actually kind of sad because I had a cold game against the Mariners, which now hypothetically means they're going to be hot.
They might be the first bipolar football club. Like, it's actually outrageous.
And they're. I actually don't really have words to describe them. All I know is that obviously we've already seen them once this season, in the first game of the year.
Where they kicked us to shit.
It was just. Yeah. So. After that performance against the Mariners we've seen, and just the performance overall for the season, and our performance against Brisbane last week, I think the best possible scenario for us would be to hold them to a draw. I think that's a result for us, a draw to Macarthur.
Best
we
possible
can't,
scenario.
I think so, because look, you can't beat Brisbane and then think you're going to beat Macarthur when you just lost 4-0 to the Jets at home, right?
Look,
we've not scored a goal at home all season.
Exactly. So how could we possibly sit here and think, yeah, we're going to beat Macarthur? I don't think.
Fuck it, Glory Boys are back. We did get a bit of feedback on our predictions, by the way, because we all predicted a loss against Brisbane. What do you think?
Did I predict a loss against Brisbane?
We didn't say anything. You were just mute.
Oh no, but I manifested a 1-0 win, so it counts.
What do you think about Macarthur? Are we winning?
No. Nah. Look, I still have a couple of questions to answer going into the game. Big one for me is Adam Taggart. You know,
should be there.
Should be back.
But is he like healthy back? Is he fully fit?
Is he starting back?
Yeah.
Should he start next to Williams?
No.
If he's fit.
No.
Why not?
Actually,
because
I wouldn't mind Williams starting off at the right wing, to be honest. I'd
no, front two Dave and Tags. Fuck it, why not?
Go 4-4-2 ball. Are we reverting back to this? Are we?
Probably more like a
Why not?
4-2-2 with like a double
4-2-2.
Penis ball.
Honestly.
Yeah, so you
penis
go
ball. Yeah.
Willow, Tags, Pennington, Bagaria. And
Wouldn't
then
mind it, honestly.
Pennington.
Yeah, may as well vibe with it. Who
Doesn't
cares?
sound awful.
Pennington, Terrace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep a more compact midfield. Wouldn't mind it at all.
I just think
Look,
Willow's done enough to get a start with Tags. Because you don't bench Tags no matter how good.
You're not
Pending
wrong.
what his fitness situation is like.
And we're going to get to the starting lineup, and neither of them are going to be there because somehow they're both sick. And then we're going to
Starting
have
striker for
Nat
today,
Blair and
Nathaniel Blair.
Yeah. So
Starting alongside Santiago Flores.
Jacob Burns has made his return to the field for us.
Look, in all honesty, look, I don't think we get the win. I would obviously very much like us to get the win, but look, Macarthur, I think they need a result. They've come off a couple of poor ones, so I do think that they're going to be looking to sort of back themselves away from home. Glory need to put up a good performance at HBF. They have not put up a good performance at HBF all season.
Well, their last good one was in February.
Well, yes,
that was our last good.
Also, for as much as we talk about Glory being absolute dog shit, we've got 5 points this season, and all of them have come away from home.
That's the thing. We're going to eclipse our away form last season. It's
Actually, wait.
What?
I rescind my previous comment.
What?
2-1 win.
You think we do it?
I think I've just been thinking about it as I opened my mouth. I was thinking
the only thing for me that would give me a reason to predict why we win is because if I was one of those players after the 6-1 thumping against Macarthur, as soon as I got back home after the long bus ride back to Sydney and then the flight back home, I would have gone home, got the calendar and looked for when we're going to play Macarthur next, seeing that we're playing them at home, and I would have circled that
100%.
Because
100%.
One of the best forms of motivation is revenge. And the fact that we're at home, we've not had a win at home all season, haven't scored a goal at home all season. It's perfect motivation for the players to show, that was not the real Glory that you saw in round one.
And I also think if there's one thing we have praised is Drilla is very good tactically. Like he's got a good tactics brain on him.
He's a good tactics brain, but he's probably found it a little bit harder to fully implement the system.
But I think because we've already played them once this year, he's seen firsthand how they're going to play against us, and he will be able to try and adapt to that.
We just cannot afford them to have space.
I agree.
Look, if you guys need any more motivation to get a result, I will be recording a match day vlog. So if you could get a good result, so I have a better vlog, that would be absolutely fantastic. But look, I honestly don't see it. I don't see us. I'm going to say I don't see us winning just to prevent myself from getting clowned.
Yeah.
So
no, come on.
If we
have some passion.
You know, fuck it. 3-0 win. No. We're winning all. No. We're fuck Macarthur. We're winning so hard.
No, not.
We're winning so much.
We are so losing 6-0 again.
James?
I'm going to say 2-2.
That's fair call.
I think. Well, I would not be surprised if I think anything's possible. Like, I think there's every chance. There's every chance we could draw. That's probably most likely. There's every chance Macarthur could nab it, but I'd like to hope that there's every chance that the boys go, well, we're not going to make you guys wait another 18 games to see us win again. So I wouldn't mind us trying to get on a roll, but it's not going to happen unless every single player puts in 110% and more.
Give me more than 30 minutes of Joel and Asmo as well. I beg of you.
Not well. Nah.
Well,
Nah, because we've just seen really good performances from Willow. So if he does start on the bench, I'd rather he comes on before.
I'm not talking about him starting over Williams. I'm talking about him starting over Faisal.
that's fair.
That's fair.
Get some
Fair
competition.
enough.
Get something different.
Give me this, bro. Give me penis ball with my 2 wingers / 10s being Anasma off the left and go off the right with the front 2 tags and Williams. And I'm there. I'm rubbing my hands together, bro. I'm ready.
It's not a.
Yeah.
If Dave is as good as we think he is at, or he's adapting, like we think he's trying to adapt his tactics to what we have, I think that performance from Willow might make him go, okay, so I have 2
He needs to keep the consistency
good
in the
strikers.
lineup.
We need to use that.
Well, he just needs to keep as much consistency within the lineup as he can.
Yeah.
I like the thought that, David Drilich is just, watching the podcast for some reason.
You never know.
And he listens to us talking about tactics and he's just... And he's
He'd be like, you
listen to
dickheads."
these fucking idiots.
If you're watching
am I right,
Dave,
guys?
if you're watching,
They reckon
I
4
really
triple
like you,
2.
Dave.
Fucking
I think
these
you're
guys.
a really good manager.
Played a bit too much Football
Tactically.
Manager, have we, boys?
Yeah.
Were there any other final points before we wrap it up?
Nope.
Alex broke the table, I think.
No, I didn't break
table,
the table.
you dog.
I did not break it. This is my table, so if
All
I
right.
broke it, that's...
Just as the final thing, I will mention we cracked over 1,000 plays on Spotify and over 5,000 views on YouTube. So keep liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, and leaving your thoughts in the comments or on Twitter. We do try to read them out. So just keep supporting us, and hopefully we'll bring some much better content heading into next year. So
And normally I'm the one doing the shameless plugging, so when James doing...
It's not
James is
shameless.
Doing it, when James is doing it,
When
know it
you
actually
do it,
does
it's
mean
shameless.
something. This shit means something to me, man.
1,000 and 5,000. Those are
Big
big numbers.
Look,
it's good.
Be ready for a very big 2025, hopefully branching out with the content a bit more than just doing the podcast episodes, but that's besides the point. Ladies and gentlemen, a bit of a shorter episode today, but probably good considering that we've got a lot coming up against Macarthur tomorrow at the time of recording, so hopefully we get this episode out before then without problem. But thank you all so much for your support. We'll see you all in the next episode. Come on, the glory, boys. And
Fingers crossed we get the win.
yes, please, let's do it.